This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Of course, we should mention the other member of the Freebirds we haven't talked about a lot about is your boy, probably known to be the guy who got beat up a bunch in the group, Buddy Roberts. And Buddy Roberts was a bit of a journeyman wrestler before this, right?
Buddy had success out in California and Florida, different places as a tag team, is the Fabulous Blondes. He and Jerry Brown were a tag team. Great tag team. They got a lot of heat, but Buddy had just come off of a stint working as Johnny Valentine's younger brother, Dale Valentine. It failed miserably. Johnny had brought Buddy in and wanted Buddy to manage a restaurant in San Antone, help him run a wrestling school, all this grandiose ideas that just went right down the shitter. So Buddy was looking for something, and Bill Watts is actually the one, I believe, that put Buddy with Michael and Bam Bam. And Michael was like, he ain't no Freebird. Well, he ain't going to wear our colors. And then they got Buddy to travel with them. They got to know Buddy, and Buddy quickly became a Freebird brother.
It is funny that he didn't want anything to do with it at first, and then eventually came around, and they became the best of friends. I guess I should mention that Michael's attitude in wrestling was always, you leave while you're on top, so you've always got somewhere to come back to. And they left, and they went to the World Wrestling Federation. This happened in 1984. I know it's before you were there, but I'm sure you've heard the stories. What the hell happened?
They were Freebirds. I heard the story from the WWF version. I've heard Michael's version, but they came in, and Vince had these huge ideas to do music with the Freebirds. He was using David Wolf, who was Cyndi Lauper's husband and manager. The idea behind it was that David would then propel the Freebirds. This would be this wrestling tag team that also sang.
Rock and wrestling, baby.
Rock and wrestling, man. It's just continue it to the next level. Michael and them came up. I think that they were there maybe a month, maybe two. I don't even think they were there that long. But this is where, again, going back to your friend Dave Meltzer, where shit gets weird.
Well, I haven't even mentioned him today.
I'm mentioning him.
Okay.
Because this is how just shit gets started and gets blown out of proportion. There was a show that Michael missed for whatever reason, and they had Pat Patterson, who was the agent of the show, work, I think with Terry or Buddy, whoever, and introduced him as the Fabulous Freebirds, Terry Gordy and Pat Patterson. So Meltzer reports in his Observer they are making a new Freebird tag team. The new Freebirds will consist of Pat Patterson being a Freebird now. It was one night. Michael didn't show up. Pat substituted for him. And, again, this was before the internet, but people got the dirt sheets and everything. And I even remember.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com.
Remember Bill Watts going, oh, my God, they're killing the Freebirds. They're putting Patterson with them.
What would that have sounded? If Pat Patterson sang Bad Street instead of Michael Hayes, what would that sound like?
Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. I don't know. Try to make it classical somehow. My way. But it was, and all of that speculation, but it was stated as fact.
Right.
That Pat Patterson's going to be a Freebird. Because one night, one town, somewhere in America, Pat subbed for a missing Freebird. And that's the silly shit that I fucking hate about him. But
Michael Hayes had said that he had fallen in love in Texas, and he wasn't really, his heart wasn't in the New York run because he wanted to be back with her. And allegedly, Terry woke up in a bad mood, and he had been sleeping on the grass, fell asleep outside. And so he showed up.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Shout out to Big Booty Judy. And so he shows up one day, quote unquote, highly out of it, and bumps into Andre, who I guess is acting as agent for the night. And Hayes recalled Andre pointing out that they were drunk, and Hayes said, no, he's not. And then Hayes fell over. So Andre's upset because allegedly he was the one who sort of put in a good word for him, felt like they were blowing their chance. And Hayes has gone on record as saying, I did the wrong thing for a friend. And he also says he never did fire the Freebirds.
Well, that's the story. That's the New York version of it, and I believe that the version of it happened in Chicago, where Andre was playing cribbage, and the Freebirds walked in, messed up, and Andre, get out! You're fired, because he was the agent that night at the show. That's their story, sticking to it.
There's another version where, they finish all their bookings. And then they have a talk with Vince McMahon, and Vince shares that he doesn't think he can trust Michael Hayes. So he's fired, and maybe he got fired directly from Vince.
He probably did get fired directly from Vince after the fact, but even Michael will tell you, yeah, they missed a show. And whether it was Andre telling him get out or Michael going, well, fuck.
Is it fair to say alcohol was involved in that incident?
Probably.
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Sure. Allegedly.
I mean, what the fuck? Who doesn't have a fifth of Jack and a couple shots of Jaeger? By that, I mean half a bottle. And you got to chase it down with some ice beer.
Ice beer is the gimmick.
Do.
Hey, so $250,000 record deal. Does that sound right? Because that's the number Hayes has floated out there. You just said that they were going to try to do
yeah, they were trying to do a record deal. I have no idea what it was for, but it was definitely wanting to be able to take them to that next level with Dave Wolf as their manager and produce albums.
All right, time out. All these different stories, all these different opinions on the Freebirds in New York. What do you think happened? Jump on social media. Let's talk about it. At Prichard Show is where you can find us on Twitter, and that's where it seems like most of the wrestling conversation happens these days. But if they'd have stuck around and it would have worked out, who could you have seen them have successful feuds with in the WWF? I don't know that they would have been able to be heels forever. I think they would have started heels, and eventually they would have become baby faces, and that opened up a whole new set of circumstances. But it would have been so cool to see them with the British Bulldogs, with the Hart Foundation, on and on. But it just wasn't meant to be. Let's get back to it. Something to Wrestle with Michael Hayes. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.